just introduce myself. That's okay. No worries. I forget what I even sent in there. So my name is Rob Pleticha. Thanks very much, Pierre. And I work with EURORDIS. That's the European Rare Disease Organization. So I'm going to talk to you about a project that EURORDIS has called RareConnect, of which there is a CDG online community. Many of the people in the room today I've already interacted with through the RareConnect website or through emails, and so it's really nice to be here with you today in Barcelona and get to meet face to face. So that's what EURORDIS does. We have a small office here in Barcelona, and we're based in Paris. And we're basically a federation of rare disease patient groups doing different projects on the European level. And our website is just eurodis.org, so you can check out some of our different projects there. But the one I'm going to talk to you about today is RareConnect. So starting a community for CDG on RareConnect happened after meeting Vanessa on a bus ride, actually here in Barcelona. And from there, it was about 2 years ago now that we launched the community. And we right away want to build these networks, these social networks, in partnership with the patient groups who really moderate, maintain, and create these communities. So what's unique about RareConnect? Each community, the CDG community, is in 5 languages: English, French, German, Spanish, and Italian, with some really great stories from people in the different countries, translated across all of those 5 languages, and also with the ability for forum posts to be translated across the 5 languages. And I'll show you a bit how that works, and we'll show you a few statistics on the CDG community, and then hopefully have time for your ideas. So like I said, who's the community for? Really, families, patient-centered. Want it to be a global conversation where, people in, Latin American countries can speak Spanish and learn what people in the United States are doing, or Canada, or France, or Italy. It's a tool. It's a RareConnect, and the CDG community is a tool, hopefully, to give to all of the patient groups, and to help move towards some of the goals that Vanessa was just talking about. So I looked, and the CDG community was launched almost exactly 2 years ago. We have 144 registered members who have added the 17 family stories that, like I said, are translated all across the 5 languages. So it's moderated by, people like Vanessa, like Sandra, that was here earlier, as well as myself, my colleague Marta here in Barcelona, and then another colleague from the National Organization for Rare Disorders in the United States. They're kind of the EURORDIS of the United States, and yeah, we play the same role here in Europe. So let's have a look at the community. Hopefully you can see some of these photos here. What's nice is that we have them coming in from this one I remember was from Italy. And here's an update, a part 2 of an existing story added. So, you may have your own family blog, but feel free to contribute your story here. So that people can learn and people can read your story, whether they're in Italy or France or Spain or something like that. So this is kind of the main section. The stories are the main section of the community, and like I said, each is translated. We also do projects, or I try to contribute to the CDG community whenever I can, like by working with Vanessa and all of our great stars here in the video to create this So, if there's ever a gap in, something to do with social networks or spreading the CDG message online, we try to fill that as well. And then those videos go alongside the stories there in the CDG community. So the main part here too is the forum. So the forum is in those 5 languages. And here I'm signed in as a moderator, so you're seeing, so you're seeing some things that you might not normally see, but that's how people can just kind of start different topics. It's not as maybe flashy and easy or every day that you're signed in like Facebook. But what's nice is the human translation is there, so that people from some countries where maybe there aren't even any support groups can benefit from all of your knowledge and experience. That's what we're really trying to do. So I want to show you a bit how the human translation works, because you have to request it on the forum here. If my clicks are good. Okay, wait, let me go back. Okay, so you'll see here at the bottom of each post, and of course this would be in German and French, that we give you 2 options. Do you want a Google Translate of this conversation, or do you want a human translation? So if you click on that link there, then a box will pop up. It tells you that your forum post, your question, someone's comment to your question is going to be sent to a third-party human translator. You just hit request translation. Then within a few hours, the translation is beamed back into your email inbox. And it also replaces where it was just English on the forum. Now it's English and Spanish. So the next Spanish speaker that comes along can read the thread or can read the question in Spanish. So I think that's really a unique value that we could even take advantage of more here, connecting isolated families to support who might not have certain language skills or have multiple languages, and also just collecting really a body of knowledge here on the CDG community, with the participation of all the patient groups and of also the families, of course. So yeah, here you'll see some of our moderators. I just wanted to share you that. Pierre, too, who just helped me out here. That's Ali from Nord. So we're checking all the messages that come on to the CDG community, and of course that's Vanessa as well. And then the final section, so you had the stories section with stories and family stories and videos. You had the forum section where you can interact and request human translation. And then we also have the Learn section, which is a collection of information and resources, including with contributions from people like Dr. Yakin, who updated the frequently asked questions about CDG a couple years ago now when we launched the site. And we had these translated across the 5 languages professionally. So we wanted to kind of give something to the CDG community whenever we can through kind of this project, and also through the other programs that EURORDIS has. So here also on the CDG community, we're always linking back to the patient groups. If for some reason somebody sends a message and says, hey, I'm a new family in Portugal, I want them to contact Vanessa first, to look at Vanessa's website first, to contact the doctors in Lisbon, and then as a secondary resource kind of come to this website. So that's kind of our driving force behind it. Giving the patient groups, giving the patient advocates a tool, and then myself and EURORDIS kind of standing behind and trying to help support people using that tool to really create an international environment, like we all keep talking about, which can then advance knowledge on the disease and hopefully take us steps closer to developing therapies. Of course, we also have articles. Many of the professionals that are here today contributed a short summary or synopsis of what they're doing in their lab, so you can find those there. And then, of course, upcoming events like this one. hope if I hit the right button. So yeah, the homepage, the stories, the forum, the articles and resources, and then the members section, which you can see if you register. And if you ever have a concern about another member, you know, if you don't think they've filled out their profile or you don't think they're really a legitimate, you know, family or professional involved, that's where, you know, we try to have a real human touch, you know, where myself or my colleague Marta or Ali can intervene right away, can answer your emails, can, you know, try to keep the environment safe for everyone. So just encourage you to register. Encourage you to also always think about privacy when you're sharing anything online, you know, because it could be there for a long time after you even want it to be. So here's just some, I don't think I need to read those, just some things to think about both on RareConnect and on Facebook or on, you know, wherever you might be interacting with other families or with other people on a forum. So there's just, you know, how we can keep messages private on RareConnect. Just check in a quick box when you ask your question or when you start your discussion. I want to go through some statistics. So I told you the CDG community is 2 years old, but unfortunately these statistics are only for the last year. So we had 10,300 total unique visitors. You can see the dark blue colors like United States and maybe France and Italy in there are where we had more visitors. So again, where are they coming from? Mostly United States. I was really surprised to see Bulgaria, especially because we've never run into any families, but somehow people from Bulgaria are landing on the page. Okay, France we would expect. Morocco is a bit of a surprise too because we don't know any families there. You know, Spain, something we were not surprised about because the community is in, you know, English and German and French, so you would expect to see those countries, you know, representative there. So I just pulled kind of what the top 7 countries where visitors are coming from, those 10,000 people. How do visitors find the community? Google, directly typing in the URL. You just can go to rareconnect.org and click on the CDG community. Facebook, we've tried to, you know, kind of work together with the CDG United Facebook and work together with the CDG Family Network group as well to refer people to each other's sites. You know, wherever people can get their question answered, you know, that's the greatest concern. Wherever people can find support, you know, that's where we want them to go, in their language or using the technology they're most comfortable with. And then, yeah, EURORDIS and some others there. So what search terms were used? What do people, when they're looking for information on CDG and they found the community, what do they find? A lot of stroke-like episodes, and of course CDG type 1A. So, you know, if you are somebody who's, you know, creating or maintaining your CDG patient group website, these could be some keywords that people are using to find you as well. So what are people talking about on the CDG community? Talking about, you know, what kind of bike or tricycle to use. You know, a question that came in by email. We had a nice international perspective to answer it. We're trying to share links here and, you know, have discussions if need be about, you know, newly published articles. And you know, we're just the RareConnect CDG community is just a place where people, I think, can ask a question and get pointed in the right direction to quality information and to quality people, you know, in their area. So why? Why should you care? Why is the community important, I think, and what are some of the added value of participating if you haven't had a chance to yet? Patient data is not sold. There's no advertising. EURORDIS and NORD have to be actually EURORDIS has to be the owner of the data, but nothing is happening with anything shared on RareConnect you know, for any commercial or any other purposes. You know, EURORDIS is a nonprofit, and that's just, you know, something that's important to mention, because there are some other platforms for sharing on health information where they are, in all intensive purposes, making money off your data, your information. So it's, you know, good to kind of draw the line and show what side we stand on. Conversations are saved and stories are saved. We're never going to, unless it's, you know, completely inappropriate, we're never going to delete anything, any stories or any conversations there. So maybe when the same question comes up a few months later, you know, a family comes in, newly diagnosed, what do I need to know for the first couple years? What questions do I ask the doctors? You know, we have a permanent link on RareConnect that we can just send people to and make that information easier to find. Patient groups govern the community and are in control. You know, when Vanessa emails and says, you know, hey, would you like to do a video? We'll talk about the conference. We'll share some, you know, family, you know, little clips. I say, okay, great. You know, let's put that on the community. Let's create that video. Let's make that happen as much as possible. Any ideas that you all in the audience have for the future, you know, it's all open, and you know, my email address will be here at the end. So why else? What's unique? Again, I think I've mentioned the human translation, and that's something that we do the fundraising for, and the cost never gets passed on to the patient associations or the members. And we hope to even expand to Portuguese very soon. I know there's, you know, some families in Brazil and stuff that we're already in contact, and maybe that's a way we can find more families in Portugal, like Vanessa said. So. Really to create an international space, you know, a safe international space. That's why maybe you should consider checking out the CDG community and helping us to grow the body of information that's there. So you could, after this meeting, hopefully register. Consider sharing it either, you know, in your group if you think people didn't know about it, or in your newsletter if you run a patient group. Encourage people to join as a complementary group. It's not replacing any other local patient group or any other Facebook groups. It's a complementary group. It's a complementary place to go and ask your questions, and maybe even get a perspective from France or from Italy as well that you might not have expected. You can join us in the moderating team. I think there's like, for the CDG community, like 4 or 5 of us. So if you'd like to join, just send me an email, and then you can help to interact, welcome new families, point people to the right support groups in their area, do all those kind of things. Post activities or updates on what you're doing, what fundraiser you're doing in your local community. So in this way, maybe the CDG community can be a nice collection of all the international stories. That's what we're trying to do. So just, that's how easy it is, in a few clicks to share your story. So that's my email, and feel free to call or write anytime. And I think that's good. Hopefully people have a few questions or comments.
Thank you.
So that's my final thought, and yeah. Thanks very much.